Hi there, everyone. This is Nikki with Grounded Vision Coaching. I have an interesting topic for us today, and hopefully you'll join me. I've been thinking a lot about feedback and how we often perceive that receiving feedback is a really vulnerable thing, right? Like if your boss calls you in for your annual evaluation, or somebody is about to give you feedback, that can be like a really sort of tumultuous, anxiety producing time to prepare yourself to receive feedback. But I've supervised a lot of people in my lifetime already, and I know that as a supervisor, it can be just as vulnerable to share that feedback too, if you want to do it well, if you want the person to hear you, if you want the person to learn and grow from that feedback. And there's this whole sandwich technique where they tell you to like give a compliment and then share the constructive criticism and then share another compliment, and it sort of sandwiches the bad news. But because everybody knows that technique, it's like you can sort of call it out, like that's what's about to happen. So I'm not sure that it's as effective as it maybe used to be. But I wanted to tell you a story. I had been involved in a Facebook group, and I liked the group, and I liked the people in the group. And the group leader started using this phrase that I didn't particularly appreciate, and it was just kind of sitting with me over and over again, and kind of got in my crawl. And so I had been thinking really about it and pondering on it. And there was a time when there was sort of an online opportunity to provide some feedback. The person had been asking for some feedback, and I asked permission. I said, can I share something a little personal and sort of feedback-y? And I got permission to do that. And I said, I laid some context around it, that maybe it was my work in sexual assault or domestic violence, or any number of things, even just the fact that I'm a feminist, that this particular phrase that was getting used over and over again didn't feel empowering to me. And so I shared that, and the person who was leading the group seemed to really take it personally. And that kind of stinks, because that wasn't my intention at all, right? I don't ever intend to hurt people or to have people take things personally. And the session was cut off, and I was immediately messaged that evening that they hoped we would part ways as colleagues, and I was pretty shocked by that. And then I was, within a few days, kicked out of that Facebook group. Now, here are the lessons from that. First of all, did that person have the right to kick me out of the group? Absolutely. Absolutely. Did that person have the right to say they don't want us to be friends or maybe even colleagues anymore? Absolutely. They have that right. Did I have the right to share that feedback? Absolutely. I had the right to share that feedback. And so I have to say, I don't have any regrets, because I thought through what I was going to say, why I was going to say it, what my intention was. My intention was, had this person thought that through, and do they realize the how that might be perceived? And so they made decisions, just like I made decisions. And so, there is risk in providing feedback, right? But I guess the lessons for you, and I'd love to hear from you maybe what I miss and what you think are good lessons to know about providing feedback. But the lessons were to ask permission, to be thoughtful and intentional about your word choice, to know that there's potential risk involved in that, to be professional and not have it be personal, and to kind of know what your goal is, right? I talk about this a lot. Like, yes, what is your intention, but what is your goal for sharing that? Because here's the thing that a counselor said to me once. And a counselor said this to me once, and it's really always stuck with me, that I may not have intended to kick you in the shins, but that doesn't mean that it didn't hurt you when I did. Right? So I'm fully aware that we can be emotionally hurt by things that another person didn't intend. And so I didn't intend to hurt anybody. It doesn't mean that her feelings weren't hurt. And so, that's something that I just need to know, that that could have happened, and to weigh into my decision to share or not share. And so I actually wrote some notes today, because I've been getting long-winded. Imagine that. But feedback is risky, but it's often worth it. And her actions are her responsibility, and my actions are my responsibility. The only thing I can control is myself and a small sort of sphere of influence. And so I knew going in that it could play out this way, and I chose to share it anyway because it was something that that I felt really strongly about, and that I would have had a hard time continuing to participate in the events that were named after this phrase that were really disempowering to me and that I didn't feel like really honored women. But all this to say that I really want you to know, as this community that I'm trying to build, that I'm really super open to your feedback and your comments. So hundreds and hundreds of people are watching these videos every time, which is like awesome and amazing. But hardly any of you are liking or commenting or sharing those videos. And so then it's like, I don't know. I don't know if you liked it or not. I don't know if it's of value to you. I don't know if maybe you thought, no, this sucked. You just cut out. You don't plan on coming back. I don't know that. And so I would really, really encourage you to write to me and send a comment or send a message or like or love the video or laugh at the video or share the video, because when hundreds and hundreds of people are seeing it and maybe 5 people are commenting or sharing or, noting some emoji, it's hard for me to know what you want to hear about and if this is of any value to you. And so I want to keep doing it for a while, but I'm not going to keep doing it if it's not of value to folks. So I'd love to hear. And I am totally open to you disagreeing and to our discussion and to debate. I love that. My goal here is to provide you with a different perspective than maybe you had before. And so I'm totally open to being provided with a different perspective than I had previously. So, I really wanted to share that with you. I can't know what you're thinking if you don't tell me. Right? I can't read your mind. And generally when we read each other's minds, we're really, really, really wrong. So I don't want to read your mind. I'd rather you just tell me what's up. And so we always have the option of taking or leaving the feedback, right? Somebody just gave me feedback last night about my makeup in my Facebook Live videos and my pictures. And while that wasn't feedback that I expected, I don't mind, because that person is well-intentioned and well-meaning, and I know that they're trying to pass along some suggestions and some ideas, and I'm not hurt by that, and I'm sure it was vulnerable for that person to share that information with me. Just like we always have the option of sharing our feedback or not sharing it. And so if you are getting value out of these videos, right below here, like, comment, share, love, laugh, wow, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling, put it in here, please. And I wanted to remind you all, I do offer free coaching discovery sessions to see if we would work well together. But I also wanted you to know, if you're afraid that you can't afford it, first of all, maybe you can. And second of all, for any person that signs a coaching package with me and says that you referred them, you get free coaching time. So if it's true that you can't afford it, you can earn it for free. How cool is that? I would love to work with people who want to level up personally and professionally, who know that they have a vision for their life that they haven't yet achieved and they want some help getting there. And so if you're that person who loves personal and professional development, who wants that different perspective, who wants to be challenged in your thinking, who wants to just have somebody to be on that journey with you, I hope you'll reach out to me, because that's who I want to work with. So I hope you have a fantastic day today. I hope you'll comment. Tell me about times when you have given feedback or received feedback. Tell me if you think I'm freaking crazy, because that is okay too. I would love any kind of conversation about any of this. So have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.